Hello, I'm Ken Powell. This is NewsNet, Baton Rouge. Grab yourself a tea or coffee as I go over with you headlines and news from our local area and region. A Gonzales man is accused of abducting a young teenager in Mississippi and bringing her to his home. Ascension Parish deputies have arrested 23-year-old Ronald Joseph Latchley for helping a 13-year-old girl run away from home to his house in Gonzales. Investigators say Ronald Latchley met this teenager, who is from Aberdeen, Mississippi, over the internet. They say he traveled to Aberdeen, Mississippi, and helped the 13-year-old child escape from home by cutting out a window screen to her room. He then brought the 13-year-old some 330 miles from her family and home to his house in Gonzales. He, being an adult, has been charged with indecent behavior with the juvenile here in Louisiana, but he will also face charges in the state of Mississippi after he's extradited at some point in the near future. Recently in Baton Rouge, authorities arrested 2 people for filing false records in order to receive Medicaid benefits to which they were not entitled. Naji Abdel-Salam and his employee provided false information to the Louisiana Department of Health in order to obtain nearly $74,000 in benefits for himself, his wife, and children. Authorities say they provided false information about his income and employment status. They were able to obtain Medicaid coverage by claiming their income was below the threshold required to receive it, when in actuality he and his wife owned several businesses, including a multi-million-dollar Medicaid provider company, which disqualified them from receiving Medicaid benefits themselves. Authorities discovered that Abdel-Salam possessed 5 bank accounts whose transactions included millions of dollars in deposits, withdrawals, fund transfers, and other bank-related activities. He has been charged with theft of over $25,000 of government benefits, filing and maintaining false public records, Medicaid fraud, and criminal conspiracy. His employee by the name of Thelma Beauregard was charged with criminal conspiracy and Medicaid fraud for recreating and filing false documents in the scheme. In West Baton Rouge Parish, around 7 p.m. on Easter Sunday, state troopers began investigating a 2-car crash on Bush Road near Section Road. It was a deadly crash because 46-year-old Melvin Jones of Port Allen was killed. Mr. Jones was traveling northbound on Bush Road in a 2005 Nissan. At the same time, 29-year-old Jonathan Daisy of New Roads was traveling southbound. Investigators say Melvin Jones crossed the center line, which resulted in his Nissan striking Jonathan Daisy's Honda in a head-on collision. The coroner's office pronounced Mr. Jones dead at the scene of the crash. Jonathan Daisy was transported to Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center with very serious injuries. State troopers will determine whether alcohol or impairment was a factor in causing this crash, so toxicology samples were taken from Mr. Jones and Mr. Daisy and have been submitted to the Louisiana State Police Crime Lab for analysis. In more Port Allen news, a River Ranch-type community development project, like the River Ranch area of Lafayette, Louisiana, was unveiled over 10 years ago, but as of today, the acreage remains an open soybean field with no development present. The architectural sketches of boutique stores, upscaled homes, a farmer's market, and community parks, and images of residents walking along well-manicured pathways remain a 10-year-old vision that has thus far not seen fruition. However, developers of the 256-acre tract remain optimistic, saying that it is coming, but good things take time. But Port Allen city officials are becoming frustrated, thinking their years of drafting ordinances and annexing properties for this project may have been all for naught. In addition, the Port Allen City Council set up an economic development district to collect sales tax revenues from businesses toward Port Allen's infrastructure and other improvements. 10 years ago, city officials cleared the way for developers Ralston Phillips and his son Ralston III to turn their vision into something real. Port Allen Mayor Richard Lee says the housing industry has seen other successful developments take off nearby, and there has been a surge in population, which has resulted in the construction of new schools and the remodeling of other schools in Port Allen. In recent statements, the city officials have made it clear that they want to see residential growth, and they still want to see this particular Riverview development project come to manifestation. These have been headlines and news from our local area and region. I'm yours truly, Ken Powell. I'll see you next time right here on NewsNet, Baton Rouge.